We did an event in June in Germany, and the whole premise of the event and the slogan under the event was how marketing ID are mastering the digital transformation together. And that got quite a lot of positive feedback, and I know that some of you here in this room are not just wearing the enterprise IT or the DevOps hat, but you guys are wearing multiple hats. It's communications manager and IT, right? Or even marketing and IT. And what we are seeing, and that was already talked about in the keynote, is that marketing and IT has to come together in order to succeed what our enterprises and what our organizations want to do and to achieve. And it's never been more important to do that, and therefore we thought it would be good to set a marketing focus. If you are an IT person, don't tune out, right? But please listen what marketing has to say, because I really believe when marketing and IT comes together, there's nothing that can stop them in the digital transformation. But in order to do that, we need to understand each other. And so we're really happy to have somebody who is an expert in that field. Hubspot has been a phenomenon in the marketing automation field, or as a company. It's a startup from Cambridge and Boston. And a lot of customers that are using it worldwide in the US, but also in Europe. And so we're really happy to welcome Byrne. He is based here in Dublin, and he will be talking to us about marketing automation. Welcome, Ian, to the stage here at London Digital Solutions Forum.
That on? Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay, cool. So I want to say a big thank you to the guys at Liferay for inviting us over to speak at the event. A bit of intro at Hubspot. We're the organisation that essentially invented inbound marketing, and we're here to talk a little bit about how that's leading the digital transformation in today's work environment. Quick show of hands, who here has heard of Hubspot before? Okay, good few of you. Okay, good. Who here has heard of inbound marketing before? Okay, that's not too bad. So let me break down the audience a little bit here. Who here is involved in marketing? Okay. Who here is involved in sales? And who here is involved in IT, tech? Good few of you guys again. Okay. Who here is involved in growth? That should be everybody with their hands still left up. So we're here to talk a little bit about inbound marketing, inbound methods, but I'm conscious that some of you guys don't know who HubSpot is right now. So we're the organization that invented inbound marketing, as I mentioned before. That's a term that our co-founders invented back in 2006. We've subsequently built an entire industry, a global industry. We're kind of global leaders in it. We've been listed as one of the fastest growing top software organizations over the past 10 years. We've scaled from 0 to 20,000 customers, and each of those 20,000 customers are using HubSpot a little bit differently. We've got marketers using HubSpot, we've got salespeople using HubSpot, we've got IT teams using HubSpot, and we also have business analysts and data analysts using HubSpot as well. But at a very kind of high level, we've broken down growth, and that's a word I'm going to come back to a couple of times during this presentation. Broken down growth into 4 key elements: attract, convert, close, and delight. So we're here to help you guys to generate visibility for your products, for your services, out to your core offering. And we're here to do that by leveraging top of the funnel engagement. So we've kind of pioneered persona-based marketing. So we want to help you guys understand your target audience, and then we start to map the platform around those individuals. So Google are one of our biggest strategic investors. We've got a keyword tool that takes the entire guesswork out of your SEO strategy, your content creation strategy, your social publishing strategy, etc. And the output here is more qualified traffic coming into your website. But like we all know, traffic isn't going to get you guys paid. It's not going to help you generate revenue. So we need to be cognizant of each individual that's coming into your website. Now, that's a good demographic here. We're talking to sales, we're talking to marketing, we're talking to IT. You're all different people. You all have different challenges. You all have different pain points. But from our perspective, we need to engage with you guys a little bit differently. So knowing a little bit about who you are allows us then to map our website around you guys, allows us to present smart and dynamic calls to action. So we can now present smart calls to action. They feed into optimized, responsively designed, personalized landing pages that has a big impact on lead gen. That's what we offer to majority of our 20,000 customers out there. The goal here is lead gen, but also database intelligence. So now you guys can take the conversation forward. When we look at the close segment, this is sales, this is marketing, this is your tech teams all working together to nurture, to educate, and to move those leads and prospects through to closed won clients and customers, so revenue. And again, we start to leverage integrations with third-party platforms, CRM, any back-end systems you guys have. The whole ethos is to have HubSpot become a hub of your growth strategy. But a lot of you guys are also, you've got a lot of happy customers out there right now. So how do we continue to nurture those individuals, build a relationship with them, and think about cross-sell and upsell? How do we think about retention and loyalty campaigns, as well as, happy customer, chances are they're going to be already putting your brand out there to their network. And if that's a happy customer, that's a high net worth network for you guys to tap into. So now we want to turn those into promoters of the business as well. Now, from an analytical standpoint, you guys and our customers can potentially measure and track ROI across every single aspect of your marketing campaigns, your sales campaigns, and then start to use data to help scale your business. So, it's been a pretty good run for us so far. We've scaled to 20,000 customers. We've scaled from 3 individuals 10 years ago to over 1,500 employees globally. I'm Irish. I'm over here from Dublin. I speak a little bit fast, so if anybody doesn't really understand me, just stick their hands up. My journey kind of began about 3.5 years ago. One thing I realized here is that's a terrible picture. I need to get a new profile shot. I'm a principal enterprise territory manager here in HubSpot EMEA. What does that mean? It's a pretty highfalutin word for sales. I look after our enterprise clients across UK and Ireland. My journey started April 2013 when HubSpot was just 20 people in Europe. We've now scaled to 240 people. In the past 3 years, we've opened up operations in Sydney and Singapore and Japan as well. When I first started HubSpot, we were selling to the SMB space, we were selling to mid-market, and we were helping people buy software. But we did realize that there was a big opportunity for us to focus in on the enterprise segment, the corporate segment. So I was tasked with taking this little project and kind of building it up, and over the past 2.5 years, we've successfully done that. We've added quite a lot of high-profile brands and marks across the European perspective. We've also grown the team to about 16 now at the moment, and we're going to be adding to that now over the next couple of months as well. So it's been a pretty good run for us so far as an organization. But when Mike was talking earlier on about going back a couple of years, I want to take you back a couple of years further. We're going to take you back to 1965. Now, the landscape in 1965 was a little bit different. Sonny and Cher were out there singing I Got You, Babe. We had the Beatlemania kicking off. We had Mary Poppins been nominated for 5 different Academy Awards, and we also had a different marketing landscape out there, a different growth trajectory. We had newspapers, we had TV, we had radio, we had billboards lighting up every single road out there, but we also had direct mail. Now, a lot of those methodology, a lot of those communication strategies, they're still at play today. They aren't as impactful as they used to be. But this is a great example of a direct mail campaign that went out in 1965. Anybody here Blue Ribbon Sports? I'd be surprised if anybody did there. That's good. So this is a direct mail campaign launched by a guy called Phil Knight. Now, Phil was trying to capture the interest of any kind of athletics coaches out there. And what he did was he devised this pretty targeted strategy to go out to every sports coach out there in Oregon. And I'm going to dissect this now in a second. I'm letting it load because it takes about 10 minutes to get through. But this is a hugely impactful campaign. I want to kind of strip it down here. So we have an introspective opening. Next fall, will your cross-country team be wearing the best shoe possible? I don't know. Thought they were wearing some pretty good equipment, but we don't know. So Phil goes ahead and starts to outline some of the key benefits, some of the product lines that they're launching. Then we had some great social positioning. And Jim Greal, who was a big name back in marathon running back then, he's tried our shoes and he's called them great. Bill Bowerman, which was one of the leading coaches at the time, said if I tried to take the relevant shoes off Kenny Moore and Wade Bell, 2 of the big kind of starlets at the time, he'd have a fight in his hand. And then one runner, the only people who'd be wearing German shoes will either be uninformed or idiots. You are no longer uninformed. So that's a pretty powerful direct mail campaign. And Phil and the team, you know, they had a couple of other successful campaigns, and over the next couple of years they turned into one of the powerhouses of sports, of marketing in the entire world. They now have an $8 billion organization, and it's been a pretty good one for these guys as well. So, you know, as a modern marketers, the landscape has changed. We have lots of different communication methods. We have lots of different channels. And going back to Phil and his team, this is, you know, they were pioneering in their approach to marketing. This is a little leaflet all about running, educational. It was talking through some of the techniques of the day. You know, it doesn't specifically mention Nike once. Fantastic idea for putting the right content out there to the right target audience. And this kind of led to what we kind of look at in this day and age is inbound, you know, creating value out there to your target audience. So when we fast forward to 2016, again, it's a completely different landscape. We have still all those communication channels. We've got TV, radio, billboards, etc., but nobody really pays attention to those anymore. People are very, very much able to block out messages. And again, marketers are very much tasked with growing businesses in this day and age. When we think about job titles that are out there, they're no longer just marketing managers, they're demand generation experts, social media, content creators, etc., etc. We're going to focus in on this word growth now over the next couple of minutes, because marketers are even more and more important to growth. 60% of the buying cycle is done before anybody is ready to talk to anybody in your sales team. That is important. That's a lot of control that you guys have. When we look at growth, we're going to reverse engineer this as well. So, in order for us to achieve growth, we need to overachieve on our revenue targets, which means the sales team needs to hit over 100%. They need to drive follow-ups with their marketing qualified leads, their sales qualified leads. Marketing needs to hit monthly lead gen goals, and they also need to hit traffic goals. That's an important piece of the puzzle. And when you look at inbound tactics, 54% more leads are generated by inbound tactics than traditional paid marketing. It has a massive impact on ROI, and it's actually cheaper as well. Companies actually end up saving money. So when we think about the technology behind this as well, that's what we're here to talk a little bit about today, technology. So we want to reverse engineer all of this as well. And you know, most companies are looking to increase in traffic. They're looking to increase in leads. They're looking to increase in revenue. Inbound tactics are actually a proven method. They've been around for quite a while. We've put a bit of more of a definition on it over the last 10 years, and we put some sophistication and technology behind it as well. And this is what HubSpot's average clients will see in the first 12 months of working with us. That's a 4x increase in qualified traffic coming in the first 12 months per month. A 3x increase in qualified leads coming into your database monthly, and a 72% of our clients will see a direct impact to revenue in the first 12 months alone. And the other 28% out there will realize value and realize revenue in year 2, year 3. 20,000 customers, there's a big contingent of organizations that generate high velocity deals, but there's also a lot of those customers that would have sales cycles 36, 48 months, and they'd be realizing revenue much higher, but a lot slower. So we're going to break this down even further. The lovability problem. So why don't people like marketers in this day and age? Is it because they don't trust them? Are we evil? Possibly. A lot of marketers in this day and age have been following that typical interruptive sell. This is a quick ad that pops up where you guys visit Forbes. They're also not listening to their target audience as well. And this is a quick example of something that was sent into our marketing team by a guy called John Bianchi. Now, John sent an email on February 9th regarding this particular topic. But he just sent the same email repeatedly every single week for the next couple of weeks. And chances are, if we're not interested the first time or the second time, we're not going to be interested in opening up these emails the 16th time. So it's kind of very much a spray and pray approach. It doesn't really work in this day and age either. This is another interesting example. And again, this is more along the lines of a sales rep going out to a target audience. And I'm going to strip this down as well. Hi. No personalization in there at all. My name is Olivia. and I'm an online strategist, so a bit of an introduction there. Are you interested in several proven strategies to use content, social media to drive relevant traffic to your site? This is Hubspot. They're trying to sell to us at our own game. It's quite interesting. So research there necessarily wasn't done, but also the back end here is that it was coming from Phil. So there's a disjointed communication plan. And what typically happens is companies are trying to over-engineer this. They're trying to make it much more complex when they should be just stripping it all down, taking it back to its baseline level and thinking about solving for the customer. This is hard to do when you're looking at an ecosystem of 20 different tools. Disparate tools lead to disjointed kind of results. So why do we do these things? Again, we're not necessarily evil. Some of these things work. Case in point, 1% of cold calls actually do work. 1 to 3% of email blasts work as well, but consider what you're doing to the other individuals you're trying to engage with. 97 to 99% of people are actually just going to get annoyed. They're going to think that you're spamming to them, so that's kind of a detrimental impact to your brand as you progress. But hey, we're all here to make money. We're all here to drive growth. We're all here to drive revenue. What's quite interesting is you'll see a massive uptake in sales if you guys are optimizing and personalizing your web experiences out there. Relevant emails drive more revenue than broadcast emails. And consumers are more than likely to buy from you guys when you built a relationship with them, when you've thought about the client, thought about what you're trying to position to them, and you've built a relationship with those individuals as well. So it turns out you can't just automate crappy marketing. And in a few years, this is probably quite interesting because this won't even be possible. You know, if you look back 10, 15 years ago, people were buying addresses. Then they started to buy phone numbers. Then they started to buy email addresses. If you look 3 to 5 years out, there's a wealth of other mediums that people are engaging with. Now, hands up, does anybody know all of these brands, all of these tools, all of these outputs? I probably named about 50% of them. No? Good. So there's a lot of other mediums out there that people are operating in, so we need to build this brand to invite people in. When we think about TVs in this day and age, 86% of consumers are skipping TV ads altogether. I know Brian mentioned this earlier on with the Netflix and the Blockbuster. In this day and age, people are using apps. Sky Go, Netflix, Amazon Prime. So nobody's really listening to ads anymore. They're just skipping through. I'm recording box sets myself, firing through. The only people that this works for is my 6-year-old son, who runs into me once a week and says, Daddy, I can actually, well, if you ring this number now, you can save 20% off your home insurance from Aviva. That's a marketer's dream right there. So it's not a case of we would like to change, we have to change. So how do we do that? When we think about traditional marketing efforts, it was very much outbound focused. Try to get our message out there to the mass audience. Interrupt people. Be very seller-centric. Whereas inbound changes that completely. We create value out there to that target audience. We attract people in. And we're very much helping people buy our solutions as opposed to trying to just sell. The output of that is your target audience will start to love you. But they'll also start to engage with you guys. They'll also start to invest with you guys. So when we think about growth, there's 3 key elements to this. This is something that most companies faced at some degree of their life. Not enough awareness, not enough conversions, not enough revenue. So let's break this down even further. So awareness. How do we increase in awareness? So it's not necessarily about writing good content anymore, because that's out there. Companies are doing that. Companies are doing a great job of that right now. But it's also how do we disseminate that into the relevant distribution channels. Good news is every time we create a new piece of content, it's a new opportunity for you guys to get found. It's another annuity for Google to rank. It's another link for somebody to share. It's another website link coming back in. So we need to think like a publishing company. So how are we going to create value? What assets are we going to create that's going to add value to our business long term? Now, this is a typical kind of graph that we would see. A lot of organizations, they hear about inbound, they get behind it, they want to really support it, but they're in it for the short fix. They're in it for the quick win. So most organizations will try it, but they give up far too easily. And they're going to miss out on all this other growth. And again, this is what we kind of refer to as the hockey stick effect. This is the type of leverage that your organization could see by actually doing inbound. And again, the principle still remains the same. Inbound leads go up for the same level of input. same level of effort. We just need to be consistent about it, be patient, be persistent. So not enough awareness. Let's think about the next phase here. Not enough conversions. So what is a conversion? So when we think about adding value to that target audience out there, HubSpot builds a lot of content, but we also build a lot of assets that help us to engage with that target audience. Quick example here is we build a lot of ebooks. So this is where we facilitate that give-get scenario. So in order for somebody to get access to that ebook, register for that webinar, come to an event, they need to give us something in return, and that could be simple as an email address. And now we've got permission to talk to that person. They're welcome in our communications because it is relevant to those individuals as well. But understanding that path is critical, because your customers do not want to feel like they're one of 10,000 people that you're talking to. They want to feel like a human. They want to feel like you're having a one-to-one conversation with them. Plus, as mentioned before, those individuals coming to your website, they're different people. They have different challenges, they have different goals as well. This is a quick example of one of our customers, and when you go to LinkedIn Web's website for the very first time, that's a first-time conversion that they're trying to get from that person. So their website is going to align to that. They're going to give you a very educational experience. They're going to give you top-of-the-funnel conversion points. In this case, learn about inbound. Making the web a better place around inbound marketing. But when a customer comes back, that's a different conversation you guys need to have. There's a different conversation that LinkedIn Web have. Start your project today. So the technology understands the target audience, understands the visitor, and maps the relevant conversation to that person. Again, a quick example. From our perspective, we build a lot of content. We've got one of the most trafficked websites in the world, but not everybody that goes to HubSpot knows that we sell software. So in order for us to begin that process, we need to engage with somebody. We need to get them to be part of our marketing efforts, in which case, when they come to see the ultimate cheat sheet for mastering LinkedIn, because they've done a Google search, we've optimized all of our content to get found, they're going to find this educational article, they're going to come down to the bottom of that, and there's your top of the funnel example of a conversion point. Free guide, how to use LinkedIn. They click on this, they go to a landing page, they convert. They're now part of our marketing efforts. But when we think about different stages of the buying cycle, as we've nurtured somebody from a lead to a marketing qualified lead, that's a different conversation we want to have with them. We want to give them something a little bit more tangible. In which case, hey, get a free assessment. Talk to one of our experts. And now this marketing qualified lead is now a sales qualified lead, gets rotated into the sales team, and that's a much more compelling conversation we're having. So not enough conversions, spoken through that. Last piece of the puzzle here, not enough revenue. So how do we increase revenue? So what do your sales team need? They need leads. Fantastic. So when somebody converts on a landing page in HubSpot, we spin up a profile. And what we're able to do then is we're able to track every single interaction that this person has had with us as a business. And as a sales rep, this is the kind of stuff that I utilize daily. This is what I get to shape my emails around. This is what I get to build my phone calls around. And this is what I get to frame my face-to-face meetings around as well. And this could be one key stakeholder, this could be one influencer, this could be one decision maker in that target audience. But I can use this as an individual to shape how I'm going to talk to that person and add a huge amount of context to it. And we can see pages they've visited, webinars they've attended, product pages that they've looked at, emails they've opened, etc., etc. But now this type of information is gold for business development. This is a quick snapshot of an email a brand new customer shared with one of our corporate sales directors over in the US on behalf of Dan Mascatello, who was a sales rep. The sales process was excellent. He was patient and he kept the transaction moving, and Dan ranks among the best in my experience. That's a fantastic experience for a customer or prospect to have with your business. I want to bring it a little bit closer to home as well. This is something that was shared with our CEO. Again, this was a sales process I was involved in over the past couple of months as well. This was sent out to 1,400 people company-wide. Our CEO likes to do that. He's very cheesy. But I wanted to share with you my experience as 2-year sales reps in Dublin. So I work very closely with a guy called Luke. He's there to help me kind of identify opportunities and facilitate conversations. But Luke had introduced me to a guy called Phil. And again, similar enough, he supplied me with a wealth of materials. which I used with my internal stakeholders. That could be decision makers, that could be tech, that could be legal, and also provide assets for other providers as well. I wasn't necessarily trying to sell Phil, I was trying to help him buy. So he supported me through the whole process, providing advice and guidance, and was always helpful. Apart from the ribbing, he's given me his exit to Iceland in the European Soccer Championships. I like that one. So it kind of brings it a little bit closer to home. But again, what we're trying to do here, guys, is we're trying to help people buy from us as opposed to push our messaging out there, because it's not going to have an impact. So in summary, a simple shift in your mindset can transform your entire marketing and sales operations. Simple, not easy, but it pays off. So inbound marketing is going to help you guys as an organization to generate more visibility and attract more leads, attract more visitors, convert more of those into leads, and close more revenue, essentially impacting on revenue growth for the business as well. And that's me. Thank you very much. I'm around for questions or anything like that later on. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ian.
No problem.
So I do want to open it up for one or two questions. Here's why it's important to me as a marketeer, because I think a lot of times when we work on our IT projects or when we are looking even at software, right, we think about the project, if we only had the technological solution, but there's a lot more behind it. It's about the sales process, it's about the software there, it's about the marketing things. So maybe a question first for you, Ian. How would you rate, like how much would you say in the sales process, not just for you in Liferay, but also in Hubspot, overall, what's the percentage of the technology that people are using, and what's about the execution? Where would you rank that?
Let's say 50-50. I mean,
50-50.
We are a technology vendor, but we have one of the highest retention rates in the world because we map technology onto our clients' needs. So we have a full team that kind of operate with each of our clients and customers. We help our clients and customers build out customized onboarding plans. Tools are just tools, and I kind of deliver that. I get a lot of abuse for saying that in the office because it's the same line I deliver every single time. Tools are just tools. Mm-hmm. But how you guys use those tools is important, and that's from a marketing perspective, from a business development perspective, and from a technology perspective as well. So it's more about execution for me, mm-hmm. but making sure that everybody's operating in the same platform allows us to have full visibility across all aspects of the funnel.
Okay. And so what as a next step, and I know that technology part, we're happy to come to you and learn about inbound marketing and check out HubSpot. For the execution part, if you would just say one next step, what can the business do, especially together, IT and marketing, what would you suggest?
I think it's focusing on the customer, solving for the customer. That's a kind of an ethos, and that kind of comes back to Brian's point earlier on, is every organization has an ethos. HubSpot's to solve for the customer. How can you build a sales and marketing and technology SLA that ensures that everybody is working together to that common goal? So it's focusing on the customer, sitting back, evaluating the processes today, and then thinking about the next logical steps.
Okay. Well, thank you.